Welcome into the SICTR Second. John Schaefer with you once again, and we're almost midway through the 25-26 academic calendar, approaching fall break here, and certainly going to be a busy time of year as we get into December and semester starts to wrap up. And today's guest, Sushant Chiramana. Did I get your last name right?
Yeah, that was correct.
Is it close enough?
Yeah,
all right.
close enough.
So some background on Sushant. He is our longest standing student worker in this building, as far as I understand. And he predates me. I joined a year and a half ago now, and you were here rolling a lot. Well, you weren't actually here. I think I got you for a week, and then you were off to NASA.
That's correct.
In San Francisco for an internship, but gotten to know you more. You're getting ready to graduate here in December. All things go to plan, obviously, but I'm not too worried about that for you. But first off, welcome into the podcast.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's fun to have you. It's certainly been fun getting to know you and understanding your personality, your background, and what you're all about. And we'll just start with graduation. You're coming up on it. What's your major? Kind of where are you from? All that stuff.
So of course, so I was born in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So my parents, when they came to the United States after they got married, it was mainly for my dad's job and / honeymoon, of course. But then my sister and I were born in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and then we moved to the Quad Cities. We used to live in Moline for like 3 years, and then we moved to India back in like 2006 or like 2007. And I've been living in Pune, Maharashtra for the past 14 years, I think. And then I came to Iowa State mainly for my undergraduate, and my parents are still in India. So when people ask, hey, are you going back home this summer? I normally go like, yeah, it's a little expensive, but then it's like maybe $1,000, $2,000 worth of flight tickets. But then, yeah, I usually try to go back home whenever I can. Mm-hmm. I am majoring in Aerospace Engineering, and I did my minor in astronomy. So that was a little fun. I started off with computer science, but I realized coding's not it's not a fun thing for me. So I switched minors and I went to astronomy because I wanted to learn more the theoretical side and the research side of space and everything. That's the reason I took aerospace engineering in the first place, because I wanted to know more about interplanetary research and all of that. But it's good, and I'm graduating this December. I'm excited because I finally get to be done with college.
At least the plan is to be done with college, right?
Plan is to be done. There you go. But
yeah. Well, and aerospace engineering, obviously one of the big programs here at Iowa State University. How did you end up at Iowa State, though? I mean, there are a lot of good aerospace engineering programs around the country.
So this is interesting. So this was during COVID. So at the time, I was actually studying for this one exam that normally all the, science Indian kids like to give. It's called the Joint Entrance Exam, or JEE, that's what we call it. And the entrance exam is normally to enter into one of the biggest colleges in India with the IIT, or I think it's Indian Institution of Technology. There you go. So then all of us were studying for that one exam. I think the time I gave it, it was like nearly 400, no, actually more than that. I think like 500,000 students were giving it all across the country.
Holy cow.
The number is definitely more than that. I'm just assuming it's 500,000, yeah.
In India?
In India.
Okay.
And like you have to rank in like the top 4,000 or like 3,000 to even be considered for a good college in India. So I was studying for like 2 years straight. So that was where my mind was focused at the entire time. But then because I have a citizenship for the US, so it made sense. Like my father played a big role in this. Like he basically said, why don't you try applying for the colleges in the US? Mm-hmm. So I did. We went through a small counseling agency in India. They helped me with like writing the SATs, applying for different colleges. Funny thing is, Iowa State was actually not part of that list. I was looking at Arizona State, Penn State, and a few other colleges like those, and I got in, but the tuition and all of that. Because imagine, because my father's going to be paying for it and earning in rupees and then spending it in dollars is really not convenient, I would say. So
Fair.
We had to check affordability as well.
Okay.
And at the same time, one of my high school friends from India, he was applying for colleges and he looked at Iowa State. Mm-hmm. He basically told me, I don't want to go alone. Do you want to can you apply to this college? It's a good college.
Right.
Of course,
yes.
It's great.
Great university, obviously.
Exactly.
It wasn't like it was just ho-hum anywhere, right?
Exactly. Like Iowa State is a big deal.
So did your friend apply? Yeah. You apply?
Yeah.
Did you both get in?
We both got in. There you go.
Okay.
And we still talk. We're still friends. It's not like, that's anything going on or something. But no, we're still friends. And yeah, so basically I applied and I got in. And because my dad used to work for John Deere, so he already knew a lot of students in Iowa State itself. So it felt like pretty much an easy pick. I gave the exam anyways, the one I was, and got like an 85 percentile, which
that's very high.
You would think that,
but in the grand scheme of it, right? You're not that top 4,000 that you needed to be
4,000, in. Yeah, because you need like a 99.99 percentile to get up there, which is, I was not even close to it. So after my first attempt, I was pretty much like, all right, anyways got into Iowa State. So that's where my next path is.
Okay, and when you decided to go aerospace engineering, what was the dream?
The dream was to work for NASA.
Okay.
Which it's at some point I was like, I want to work at NASA in the space research side. Did I see it as a full time? Maybe not, but I just know that I wanted to give it a shot at some point. In my mind, I was thinking like maybe 10 years into my career, I'd probably end up in NASA somehow. I didn't expect to start an internship there, but like, so that was the unexpected part for me. But that's what I saw myself when I first started my college, was seeing it myself at, if not NASA, some big research, a space research organization of any sort, because I really enjoyed that.
Well, and we'll get to the internship here in just a second, but for a kid growing up in India, how much knowledge was there about NASA for you? And I know India's space program is very decent at the very least to say.
It's getting a lot better right now. So we've it's hard to like name exactly what we've done right now.
Yeah.
And some people might.
Some people probably know better, but I've at least known that they have been solid in the past, and so. But for you, how much did you know about NASA? And why NASA?
So NASA was mainly known in India for all the researchers that they've done, and like especially going to the moon and trying out with Mars exploration and all of that stuff. So they just know, and obviously for at least for India, when I was growing up, Hollywood was our reference to the United States. That was our reference, and we would see like at least most of the sci-fi movies involved NASA at some point. And so at least for me, it was like, wow, it would be amazing to work there. And I'm pretty sure these are not real, but like, I'm pretty sure like some of it, like that's what NASA really almost works on. So it'd be pretty cool to like get to work on stuff like that. So that's how it started, and that's where I wanted to do engineering always, because as you grow up, that's the standard mindset where, especially as someone who wants to like explore like how everything works, you want to be an engineer. That's how the mindset worked. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm being an engineer, but what do I go towards? And then it aligned with aerospace and what aerospace stood for, and that's why every college I applied to was aerospace engineering.
Okay.
So then, so NASA was part of the decision why I went for aerospace engineering, and that's how it was.
So fast forward to last summer, you apply for an internship at NASA. Yeah. What happened?
So that's a very fun story. So spring 2024. So by that time, I was a junior in college. So normally the mindset is usually like, you need to have at least one internship before you graduate to even have a good shot at at a full-time job. I mean, obviously that a mindset's going to change based on where the job market situation's at. But at the time, it was like you need to have at least one internship to be considered a good candidate for a full-time job. And I didn't have a single one. I was completing my junior year with no internship, and I was still. So I didn't have a phase where I was applying for jobs. Because that's the thing I realized is that every semester, I don't know if it's with everyone else, but with me, there's like a phase in the semester where I'm like, okay, for these couple of weeks, I'm just going to apply for jobs and then focus on academics and everything else. That semester, I didn't have a phase. Throughout the semester, I just kept applying. I was initially not going to apply to NASA, mainly because how big they are, and like the mindset is like, if I don't have a internship right now, why would NASA hire me? But again, my dad, he played a big role in this. He basically said, you've been rejected so many times, just add NASA to the list. Just do it.
Right.
Like, it's just going to be 1 or 2 rejections in that big list that you have. I was like, and at the same time, the Iowa Space Grant, they approached me saying, hey, you have a good resume. Why don't you try applying for NASA? You might get in. That was my first hope that it could happen. So the Space Grant required me to apply to like 5 or more internships to even get my application through for funding.
Okay.
And what I didn't realize was that one of them was a fall position, everything else was summer. And so, and then normally the protocol is like somebody from the other side would call you up and for an interview and be like, just get to know you and decide if you're a good fit or not. I didn't get a single phone call, nothing whatsoever. Summer was coming by, and normally I usually go back to India at that time, but this time I didn't even book my flight. And at the time, tickets were way more expensive. They were like $4,000, $5,000. They're expensive.
Very expensive.
So my father was basically like, don't bother coming back home this time. Just see if you can work. And then luckily the Student Innovation Center, they let me work here full time for the entire summer. So I had a steady paycheck, and I lived with my friend at my friend's apartment. So I had a home to live at. And then funny thing is, halfway through the summer, I just got an email from NASA saying you got in. At first, I thought it was a scam because I didn't realize. Then I went back at the applications and I figured that, oh, wait, among all the applications that applied, one of them was a fall position. And that's the one I got. And I didn't want to believe it. But then when I went back to my applications, it actually said, they gave me the decision to like reject or approve it, or like accept or decline it. And then I was like, okay, this is not a scam. So now I have to make the choice. Do I want to extend my graduation by a semester and do the co-op? Obviously, it was a no-brainer because it's NASA. If they say you're accepted, you have to say yes. That's part of the deal.
How excited were you though when you got that acceptance?
I was I was relieved. I'm not gonna lie. I was like insanely relieved. One, because like that was my big pressure, especially that last spring semester, was what if the internship doesn't happen? What if I don't get one? I graduate in spring 2025 with no internship. How's the job market going to look like for me with no industrial experience? I mean, Student Innovation Center is like, I would say, as good as any internship.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to say this all openly. Like, I'm being honest. Like, the amount of work I've done here is like very productive, and I've done a lot that's like industry standard.
Yeah.
But like, again, to I guess the industry, it's still a student campus job. But
right.
Then, even if I don't believe that really. But then this was not good. I didn't have an industry experience anywhere else. So then, so that was the big worry I had. So the fact that I got this internship, like it was like a big relief. And I even remember the phone call I gave my family right away. My father was sleeping, and I told him I got in. I have an internship for the summer, and his eyes opened up. But then I told him at NASA, and I'm not even kidding, he just got up. He just like got up straight out of bed, and he was like, wait, what, really?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was good to see that, and seeing that there was a relief among all of us that, okay, I have industrial experience at an esteemed organization like NASA. So it was a good experience to just feel that.
What did that fall with NASA? What was your experience with it? What were you working on? Can you tell us what you were working on at all, or some of the things?
So I'm going to refer to the report I wrote that I was officially allowed to share with people. I don't know. I'm not going to go into numbers.
Yeah,
or anything
you don't need to get that deep, but just kind of explaining that higher level of what you got to do within the organization.
So I was working with the Rotorcraft Aeromechanics branch that was there in NASA Ames, Silicon Valley, California. So Rotorcraft is mainly working with vertical lift, so helicopters, Mars helicopters, anything in that I guess field of aerospace. And that was my first experience of working with Rotorcraft, because even in our aerospace program here, we normally just learn about aircrafts and maybe rockets, but that's usually at the very end, towards your senior year. And I just completed my junior year, so I was still an aircraft engineer and just an engineer. I was not anything more than that. So Rotorcraft, so I was working on, if you check my fall and summer semesters combined, I worked on, I think, I'm trying to count 3 or 4 projects, I think.
Okay.
So the fall semester specifically was, we were building a wind tunnel for like different Rotorcraft Mars exploration stands. So Mars exploration, that's what our branch was working on mainly. So there's like a lot of projects that were dedicated towards that. So part of it was building a bigger sized wind tunnel so that we can have larger test stands to do different Rotorcraft testings for aerodynamic data and stuff like that.
Cool.
So that project started I think a few years before COVID happened, and then it was on the shelf because of COVID, and then they just brought it back in like 2022. So then we were just continuing the construction, continuing the building, so that hopefully one day that can be used for for different rotor testings. Another project was studying outwash of so when you have helicopters, there's like a downforce wind, and then there's like a outwash of the wind, so which can affect the environment around it.
Yeah.
So there was like a big testing campaign to understand how the airflow works after the outwash happens, and I was part of the pressure calibration of the airflow that's happening.
Interesting.
So that was mainly like just designing something that they already had in mind. I just have to put it in person, like, you know, how the setup was going to look like for calibrating the pressure rigs and all of that. So that's where I came in. That was actually a funny part because they asked me on our first day, like, hey, what do you see for a full-time job? And I told them anything but software engineering. And they said, funny thing is, we hired you for software part.
Oh, okay.
But then they were open enough to like let me not do that and
be more hands-on a little bit.
More hands-on.
Yeah.
Because normally, like in your job, you just do what you're told. But then the fact that they encouraged interns to like have their own mind and decide if they actually want to work on something that they were initially asked to. And we were even given the freedom to like switch projects if we had to. Luckily, I didn't do it because the projects I was put on were amazing and great. My mentors were amazing, and they were super supportive.
Cool.
And they are willing to like stay in contact even after you're done. So even now I'm in contact with most of my mentors. So it was good. And obviously the work aspect was fun, but even California. So that was fun.
I was going to say, you're in a new environment. Once again, obviously, San Francisco Bay Area is vastly different from what you get in the Midwest. So that had to be quite the experience. And
it was.
You didn't just have the fall semester. You got to go back this past summer in 2025 as well. So two sessions, let's call it, with NASA. And so it's almost like it was a bigger payoff by pushing your graduation back a semester because you were enabled to do that a little bit.
No, that is true. Yeah, because like that's normally how it is. Like I had the mindset that I never wanted to do a co-op because I didn't want to extend my internship, extend my graduation.
Yeah.
I still want to graduate on time. That was my mindset. But then like once you do a co-op or an internship that's during the semester, like you really see that the payoff is really, really like it's worth it because one, you get like a longer duration of experience. So you're actually getting work done. I know that some people have not had positive experiences with internships because by the time they learn how the system works, their internship's done and they're wrapping up.
It's such an expedited process. You don't get to settle in and like a job, you know, you have that onboarding session, and a lot of times onboarding in a full-time job is anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks before you can kind of grasp what that organization's doing. And a lot of internships are over summer, so there's 6 to 10 weeks.
Exactly.
And so that can be a challenge. Well, NASA, one, I'm incredibly jealous. Knowing that you're an aerospace engineer, I come from a little bit of aviation. I went to school to be a pilot initially, so I'm not the engineering mind. I'm the guy that takes the engineering mind and says, all right, just make sure I land safely and we're good. Exactly. Bernoulli's principle still makes 0 sense to me, but it doesn't have to. It just has to lift the wing. That's all I care about. But
that is true.
To that point, though, too, how did the Student Innovation Center and your time with us set you up for success with a place like NASA or in your career field?
So that's a good question. So I'm going to say this openly because like I don't like.
I have not paid him to say anything positive. By the way, Sushant is here by his own choice.
Yeah, I've said this so many times. I'm like an official salesman for this building. The amount of times I've like told people like, "Hey, Student Innovation Center is the place to go for like anything." Really, is like I've said this way too many times, and I'm going to keep saying it because it is true. I'm going to say this, like NASA hired me because of what I've done here, because all the hands-on experience I've gotten here from not just 3D printing, but like even the woodworking and all of that, like that actually played a big role in like everything that I've been doing so forth. And like 3.5, I mean, I think if I do the count, it's like 3 years and 6 months, I guess, like how long I've worked here. Like it's maybe not a long time, but imagine you're in college for an average of like 4 years. So 3.5 years is actually pretty much your entire college life. Yeah. If you take away my freshman year, like Student Innovation Center pretty much sums up my entire college life. So it's definitely played a big role. My character, my confidence, and like how much I can like talk to people right now, and like just the fact that it's okay to like not know everything, or like I started this job not knowing what any of the equipments were. That's how my interview went. Was literally like I was asked like, so like, do you have experience in the heavy metals? Because that's where I started. I started in the
walk us through where, because you've worked in every makerspace in this building.
That's true. I started off in the club makerspace, a heavy metals one that's across from here. Actually, I didn't ask to work there. I just said to the hiring manager, like, I'm willing to work anywhere because I haven't done any of them. So just put me anywhere,
just
I'll work.
Where you need me.
Exactly. So I started off in the basement, heavy metals, and so I got the job because at the time, because we just opened up to other students, the spaces, so they were willing to take anyone. The building was willing to hire anyone because they just needed employees to help them out with the future growth of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky that I got hired at that time. I don't know about now, but like, it might be a little
I think
different.
you would have been just fine, yes.
I would have been fine, yeah. I would have been very fine, yeah.
But for you, I mean, so you went from heavy metals, you went up to woods and metals.
Went up to woods and metals. That was purely because of the hours, because, again, at the time, because students who were coming up in the club makerspaces already knew what they were doing, so they didn't require like student worker assistance. So I didn't get that many hours at the time. So I still wanted to work more because I wanted, again, a steady paycheck and all of that. So then Darren, he one of the supervisors. I would say he's one of the important people to me in this building because he's been my supervisor for 3 years, except for this semester.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much been there like every single semester that I've worked here, and he suggested, why don't you try going to the first floor because they need help over there in the wood maker space. So I started working there, and then I was going back and forth, but I was still primarily a student worker in the basement. So I was still, again, at the time I wasn't too happy with the hours I was getting, and I wanted to work more. And at the time, Charlie was the supervisor for the 3D printing shop, and he didn't have a single student worker at the time. It was just him. I think there was one student worker, but he was graduating. He was wrapping up, so he wasn't coming to work that much. So like he needed student workers. So Darren was like, hey, go to second floor, help Charlie out with everything. And then I saw the 3D printers, and I remember the first thing Charlie asked me to do. He literally said, he got me trained on the Ultimakers at the time, and he said, all right, now we just want to like 3D print fidget rings that we normally give away at events nowadays.
Yeah.
So like I saw that, and the fact that he just let me use the machines right away, I was like, oh, this feels nice. Like this is when I initially applied for the makerspaces, that's what I expected I would be doing, was like using the machines directly myself.
Yeah.
So again, this is purely referencing at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not
no, you're
speaking
good
for anyone right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I got to use the machines up there that early on, I was like, I kind of like it here. So then I just asked, hey, can I just work here primarily? And then they just said, okay, fine. From next semester, you can start working and the 3D printing shop, and rest is history. Three years.
There you go.
And yeah,
it was just like that. Now your role has evolved, obviously, and some things that we've tried to implement more with our student workers are running trainings in the space. Obviously, you've got to do some cleaning and maintenance and things that aren't fun, but I think letting the student workers do lead those trainings and make it more peer-to-peer has been incredibly valuable, not just for you as a student worker and the rest of our student workers in the space, but also the users. I think it when it's coming from someone that they can relate to a little bit more, they can build some confidence.
Exactly. Yeah. That definitely helped out because, one, it also tested how well we can explain the equipments to everyone else, and that really helped me out in like understanding the equipments a lot more. And that was a good addition because normally, again, at the time, it was usually just using the machines and maintaining them. It was not really, it didn't feel interactive with students that much. I just felt like I was helping them out when they asked for it. Yeah. But again, like every semester we've evolved, and I feel like that's really, really good. And I've been there firsthand to see the change. So like, it is really impressive to see how far the building has come and how much you're trying to maximize our time working here, and it's really, really, it is really, really appreciative.
Well, we have fun with it. I mean, fun. I think that's the first thing. Yes, we're cognizant of safety. We're very aware of respecting the space and things like that, but we make sure to have some fun too. We have great people, and I think that's where a lot of this building does get its great reputation, is we have great people in place that make sure that students feel welcome, they're learning the way they need to. And I do want to point out, the hands-on hasn't stopped. You've done some creating. I go back to this past summer and the new fidget rings that you created. Walk us through what you made and that process, because I know it wasn't perfect the first time.
So we used to give away like a DIY version of the fidget rings with the 3 pieces one. I mean, I don't know, people who've had the rings, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's this little 3-piece PLA 3D printed ring. It's got 2 parts on the outside that push together with a ring that says Student Innovation Center on the ring itself. You push it together, and it's kind of a freebie interactive that we used to have, and we have a few still laying around, I believe.
I made that like 3 years ago.
I know, and then you adapted it.
Yeah, so like for last summer, like this was just before I left for NASA again. The idea was we want to have a different giveaway, but it's still like you can produce them like in like mass production, but like, and it's still, I guess, fun for people to use. So like I went in the mindset of like, okay, I'll make something like the fidget ring, something that's like not just there, but like you can just like play around with it and stuff like that. So initially, I was going to make like a keychain because I thought keychains are good giveaways. And we used to like laser cut like the winter themed ones, the snowflake ones for the keychain versions. I think they were laser cut in acrylic.
Yeah.
So like I didn't think about that when I was thinking about 3D printed keychains. And then I sort of thought about it, and I thought of a gyroscope, it's hard to explain. I mean, people know what a gyroscope is.
It's a 3-layer that can all spin independently or move independently from the others.
Yeah, and like they can be separated, but if you just have it the way it is, they cannot be separated, but they can still move independently. That's what the mindset I've had. I first went on Thingiverse to see, like, it's one of the websites that you can get free 3D print files from, and I saw like they were good ones, but then at one point I was like, okay, maybe I can just use this as a reference and design some of my own. So I initially made like a 3-layer gyroscope keychain version of it, and then I showed it around to the staff, and they had a few remarks. One was they saw it was a keychain, and they realized it wasn't too accessible to students. I mean, you have it like have it on your backpack or something, but then what?
Right.
But the whole point was for the giveaways to make it more interactive so students could have it on them and just play around with it or something. So I took off the keychain whole ring, and I was like, okay, it still looks a little, I guess, bland, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Tara. Tara, she's again one of the staff members.
Yeah, programming.
Programming, there you go. I keep forgetting what the...
No, you're good. You are fine.
Okay. So like, she suggested have the official Student Innovation Center text on all around it. And so I worked around that, and I had a good prototype. And then I somehow thought of making a 4-layer ring instead of 3 layers. But then I realized, okay, I'm overdoing it. It's not fun anymore.
Sometimes simple is better.
Exactly. So like I sized it up so it's standard to like, it's not meant to be a ring. It's just something you can have it on you, just like.
Right, yeah.
And then I made the final product, made like 1 or 2 of those, showed it to the entire staff, and saw as they kept playing with it and not like letting go of it. So I was like, all right, this is it. This is the product we're making. And then we started production. How many did we make? Like 3?
Oh, we made way more than you know.
Yeah.
Because we kept producing after you left. I think we gave them away. Was it EIS or DIS?
I think it's DIS.
DIS.
Yeah.
Not welcome weekend, but their orientation week stuff, or the orientation weeks. I think we helped hand some of those out as well. And I mean, it was hundreds, if not in the thousands.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And we started playing around with multi-filament and things, doing multicolor ones.
That was a good idea.
Just so they make them different and add some variation. But it goes back to the whole kind of basis of this building is to create innovation, right? Or the mindset of innovation. And innovation doesn't have to be this giant thing you aspire to. It can be something as simple as seeing something, saying, well, I can play off of that, but let's adapt it a little bit. Exactly, and then it's also the failure of the first one, right? Yeah. It's that, okay, this really isn't landing. We need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and kind of go that route. And I think that's what this building encourages, is that mindset of it's okay to hit road bumps. It's okay to have these challenges.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. So like everything I've made, I guess after that, it's like, if I make a first prototype, I'm never like, I never go like, that's the final one. I always make a second one to confirm if my first one was the final one. So like, I had that mindset. So like, that's where it was for me to be okay with the fact that my first try is never the perfect one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump. We're not going to get to quickfire yet because there's one more side of you that I think people need to know about, and it's the social media Sushant.
Oh, okay.
The one that I've seen just snippets of, but obviously your lineage it means a lot to you. Your family means a lot to you. And so when you did go home over the summer, you were able to connect with your sister again and make some videos, talk about what you guys enjoyed doing, video-wise and some of the content we've seen on your socials.
Okay, so for reference, what John's asking, so if I'm on my Instagram, I like to shoot a bunch of reels, on whether it's dance reels or just scenes of just me acting or doing voiceover for a few famous Indian movie clips or something. So the ones you're talking about with my sister, that was totally her idea.
Okay.
So especially ever since she went to college as well, she started she loved the idea of just doing small skits or doing small dance numbers and stuff like that. I started during the COVID. I started doing those a lot in COVID because I was one of the only guys who enjoyed dancing in my school. Okay. Except there was me and one other guy. So the two of us would come in together during COVID and would shoot small reels of different famous dance numbers and would try to imitate those. So my sister saw that and then she started herself her small skits in college, and then first thing she said is, the two of us never did one together. It's it's funny, we do it with our friends, but somehow the two of us have never shot together. So when I went back this time, my sister wanted us to do a small dance number. It was kind of a graceful one, so I was sort of shy to give any expression at the time, but then so I did that one, and then my sister was like, hey, let's do a small skit. And then I did a voiceover with my sister, and I it was from this famous Indian movie back in 2011. So we took a small clip from there, and we did the voiceover for all of that.
Cool.
It was fun. That was being spontaneous. It's not anything planned. That I think we shot that reel I think 2 minutes before we were supposed to go for a dinner party or something like that. It was hey, we have some time to spare. Let's just make a reel right now.
Well, and dance is something you said it you enjoy doing, and you've even been able to showcase it here on campus a little bit as of late too. Walk through just kind of what that was over the last couple of weeks.
Of course. So I'm part of the ISU Bhangra Club. I'm the vice president. I want to say I'm still the vice president of the club. The semester's
somewhere
not over
in there,
yet. Semester's not over yet. I'm still the vice president. So I actually started joining the Bhangra Club. For anyone who doesn't know the Bhangra Club, it's Bhangra is one of the Indian folk dances from the northern states of Punjab. So that state is known for Bhangra music, or it's high upbeat music with Indian, Indian instruments. So it's very upbeat, it's very energetic. So when I first saw them perform 2 years ago, I was really captured by how energetic and colorful the entire performances used to look like. So through a friend, I joined the club, and then just love the people there. The members are really they're very interactive, very friendly. They try to keep an open and safe environment. So it's you're not just there to dance, you're there to socialize, you're there to feel open, all of that. I enjoyed it. And they asked, hey, do you want to be vice president this semester? And I was like, sure, I'll do it.
Right.
That was actually my first leadership experience, at an official club level, I guess. So taking on that responsibility and making sure, working with the president and working on different choreographies and making sure that all the members are being used well in this case, so that no one's being shadowed or anything like that, so that everyone's having a fair share and everyone's having a good time. We try to perform twice a semester. So I've been busy the last 2 weeks, mainly. So our club, we performed at the International Cultural Fest. So it's an event that's celebrated by many countries, so that they can come in, show off their culture, and show what their culture is known for, countries known for, and all of that. So it was good. You get to meet people from different countries, so it's always fun. And then this last weekend, this Saturday, we had one of our Indian annual events called Diwali. So that's where, we don't have the permit to firecrackers, because that's what we do in India. Yeah, it's during Diwali, we firecrackers in the streets. We don't have the permit here.
Okay, fair enough.
Some of us do, but then we still don't do it, I guess.
Yeah.
So we are okay, fine, let's just meet up. Let's rehearse beforehand, maybe months prior. We usually rehearse at the start of the semester. We usually try to come up with a dance performance, and then we perform it during Diwali. Not necessarily it's the same day as Diwali back in India. Maybe it'll be a few weeks late. This semester we were a few weeks late from when it's actually celebrated. But then, like, again, so we performed on stage. Wendy Winterstein was there.
Oh, really?
As chief guest. She didn't get to see my performance, which kind of bummed me out, but like, it's okay. She was there. So
Yeah.
she was there, which was nice.
Good.
And this was my last official Diwali on college. So like, I did one performance with the Bhangra Club, and then I'm usually part of this another dance group called Thalaivas. It's like a South Indian, because that's where I'm from. So I'm actually South Indian. If people didn't guess, some people don't look at me.
I mean, most of it, I would never know that personally, and so I appreciate that.
Don't worry, most Indians don't think I'm South Indian. So like, you're good, you're good.
Alrighty, and I mean, we'll finish up really quick on this, but how big is it having the ability to bring some of your culture to Iowa State and be accepted and showcase it and get to have some of that feeling of home?
It feels good mainly because like I've been used to like talking to like I guess non-Indians in the last couple of years. I'll be honest, like my freshman year I used to just stick around with all Indians because that's what I felt comfortable around. Like I was still trying to get used to the environment here. But then once I guess branched out and I started like interacting with more people who are not just my friend circle, eventually I felt like I was losing touch of like I guess the Indian side of me and like just getting used to be around the Indian people. So the fact that like at least every year I get to be surrounded by Indians, maybe like once or twice a week, even if it's just for a few hours, like it's good that I'm able to like branch out but still stick to my roots and anything like that. So like I still speak 3 languages. I can flex that. I speak 3 languages.
Okay, what are your 3 languages?
So it's English, Hindi's our national language, and then Telugu, which is my native language.
Okay.
So I can't read and write it, which is disappointing, but like I can speak it pretty well.
How many different languages are there in India?
29, I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, 29 official languages. I'm pretty sure there's more.
Official, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like 102 like languages include dialects and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
wow.
So like so it's a good amount.
Yeah.
A good amount.
Well, very cool. Well, again, appreciate all you've done for the Student Innovation Center being here, and that's why I wanted to get you on, being that it's your last semester.
Yeah.
You're one of the you are the longest standing student worker in this space, as far as I can tell. And I'm pretty sure you'd know that too, because I don't know that anyone you started with is still here.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
There you go.
But on this show, I like to wrap it up with a quick 5-question quick-fire challenge.
Sweet.
Okay,
go for it.
So it doesn't have to be super long, elaborate answers. Just can be however short or long you want to make them. Sweet. All right. We'll start you simple. Favorite spot on campus to study that's not the SIC?
Oh, come on.
I know you're up at the tables all the time, and you love the building, but where do you like to study outside of that?
I'll say Howe Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean Aerospace Engineering, I have to be there.
Yeah. Favorite food that you miss from home?
That's a good one. So there's this like small lentil curries that my mom likes to make. It's called, in Telugu we say pappu. That's what we call that, with like a simple omelet. I love eating that. I miss it.
Now, is an omelet in India the same as an omelet in the U.S.?
It's similar. We usually add like salt and red chili powder.
Okay, because omelet in Spanish is like a cold egg, if I remember right, with mayonnaise on sandwich. It was the weirdest. Not weirdest, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I enjoyed it. I ate it. Yeah. But I remember the Spanish omelet versus American obviously is very different.
This is entirely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite planet?
Earth, I guess. I mean, maybe I'll explore other planets and then let you know. But like for now, it's Earth.
Okay, sounds good. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
Monkey.
Monkey.
Since I was a kid, I used to like hang around the monkey bars a lot. That I'm like, I just live there.
Is there any like species of monkey that you like? Is there any?
I don't know the exact species. Like I don't exactly pass my biology classes, but like.
I'm sure you passed them. It's just a matter of
passed enough to like get the scores.
Like, okay, I'll just leave it there. All right.
Let's say monkey. Like,
monkey. We'll leave it on that.
There you go.
If you could pair up, this is final question. If you could pair up in a tag team battle with one pro wrestler, who would it be, and what would be your pro wrestler name?
Good question. So like, I'm a big John Cena fan. Like, and he's retiring this. This year, and like that's how I see it. Like our lives are almost like in parallel because he's retiring in December. I get done with college in December, so that's how I started pro wrestling, anyways. And like, the team or like my wrestling name.
Yeah, what would your wrestling name be, or what would your tag team name be? So it'd be John Cena that you tag team with. Okay.
I'd say like you can't see us or something.
You can't see us. They can't see us, bros.
Yeah, there we go. Probably something like that.
To that point, for people that don't know, Sushant is a big pro wrestling fan.
Big wrestling fan.
That surprised me a bit. You look at a bit unassuming in the pro wrestling nature, I'd say.
Yeah.
But what got you into pro wrestling?
So this was one of my middle school friends. So like he just showed me this video game we were playing. It's called Raw vs. SmackDown 2011. We were just playing that game, and I was like, man, it's actually kind of fun. And then he showed me like YouTube clips of like I guess Raw and SmackDown that was happening at the time, and I started enjoying the story. I already knew who John Cena was at the time, but I didn't exactly follow wrestling. But then I saw like all the clips that were happening, and I saw that some people say, okay, I don't even bring this up, but I'm going to bring this up myself. People say that wrestling is fake. I say it's not fake, it's scripted. I'm just going to say that. That means everything that's happening on TV is happening.
Yeah. The blood is real, folks.
Blood is real. It's happening. It's there. They're actually hitting each other, but obviously you have to keep them safe. So like it's choreographed.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I see it mainly like a live TV show that's happening. So like I follow the storyline. So I used to watch wrestling purely because, what's happening next? What's happening next? I got more into it during COVID because at the time, because obviously there's no audience in person, they had like legitimate like storylines going on. That's how I got into wrestling more.
Funny.
Yeah.
Funny. Who's your favorite heel?
Roman Reigns is a face right now, so I won't probably say him. I'd probably say Dominic Mysterio because like, considering how he started and where he is right now, like people love him as a heel, and like they say he should never turn face, and I actually agree with that.
See, I was a big Rey Mysterio fan, so.
Hey, his son's a bad guy.
Weird. That's a weird world to live in.
That's true.
All righty. Well, thank you again, Sushant. Really enjoyed having you on here, and really enjoyed having you in the building and makerspace. You've been an incredible asset. So thank you for everything.
No, of course. Anytime. Yeah.
All righty.
Glad to be here.
Well, when we come back on the SICTR Second, we'll run through the events happening inside of the building over the next couple of weeks. That's next, right after a quick break. So once again, a big thank you to Sushant for joining us here on the SICTR Second as he gets ready for the next chapter of his life post-graduation. Trying to figure all that out. Certainly wish him the best there. Some big events going on here inside of the Student Innovation Center as well as we look ahead. December 4th is the big one. Holiday Memory Maker will be going on noon to 6 p.m. on the first floor atrium of the Student Innovation Center. A chance for you to kind of take a mental break ahead of prep week and finals week. We know it's a big final stretch here of the fall semester. Just give you a chance to calm down, maybe relax, get your mind off things for a bit with decorating ornaments. We'll have some virtual reality going on. We'll have some snacks and drinks. It's certainly going to be a nice, relaxing afternoon. And then partnering with that is Innovate 1858. The Winter Maker Market is going to start at 4 p.m. I believe that will run till 6 as well on the first floor. Come check it out. Certainly looking forward to that. And we wish you a best and most successful finals week here as we look far enough ahead toward the end of the semester. Thanks so much for joining us here on the SICTR Second. We'll see you in our next episode.